This is Charlie's week 2 video recap. So we're going to start out by charging our clicker. So I did offer him the flirt pole when we first got down here, but a lot of times we bring the puppies down into this space and they know it's time to train and they're more interested in us and our treat pouches. So I will offer him the flirt pole maybe about halfway through our training session today. So as a reminder, when I'm charging my clicker, I'm not actually asking Charlie for any specific behaviors. I just want to make sure that he has a really strong association between hearing that click and getting a piece of food. So we'll do this maybe 4 or 5 times before we get started on our first exercise. Good job, buddy. Good boy. Good job, buddy. Right from here, we're going to move into having Charlie follow a food lure. So this is just kind of review from last week. When I'm holding a food lure, I'll have it nice and flat in my hand, and I want my palm facing Charlie's snout. So I want him staying connected to that piece of food the whole time we're moving. I'm just going to take a couple of steps, and then I'm going to click and release that piece of food. Good job, buddy. We've also been pairing this with his name to start to work on some name recognition. Charlie. Charlie. Good job, buddy. And then again, I like to practice this using both hands just to make sure that he's comfortable following a food lure, whether it's in my left or my right hand. Charlie. Charlie. Good job, buddy. So something new that we've been working on this week is introducing Charlie to a leash. So last week we were working on putting a collar on him. This week we're adding the leash into the mix. So I already have my leash attached to my collar. I'm going to use some food to keep Charlie occupied while I'm getting the collar on. And then once this is on him, we're just going to do our food luring exercise with him wearing the leash. So showing him a few pieces of food, dropping it down on the floor while I get the collar on. And then again, we're going to do that food luring exercise, except now he's attached to the leash, so we're just getting him to move cooperatively with us while he's connected to this leash. Hey, bud. Charlie. Good boy. Charlie. Good job, buddy. I know, what is that? Charlie. So when I'm introducing a puppy to wearing the leash, I do like to have them do something while they're wearing it versus just putting it on them and doing nothing, because then he's going to really focus on the fact that he has that leash on. So that's why as soon as I get it on him, we're moving into a training exercise here. Charlie. Good boy. Charlie. Good job, buddy. And we're just doing a couple repetitions of that this week. Again, the leash is brand new to him, so I don't want to have it on him for too terribly long. So when I go to take it off, I'm getting him interested in a piece of food while I find that buckle from the collar. That way he's focused on the food and not me taking that collar off. Good job, buddy. Good boy. We've been continuing to work on our hand targets in week 2. So last week, we were starting by putting that food right up to Charlie's face and then pulling our hand away. Our goal in week 2 is that we're still going to have food in our hand, but we're just going to present it and cue him to touch. Charlie, touch. Good boy. Charlie, touch. Good job, buddy. Charlie, touch. So again, practicing this behavior with both hands. Charlie, touch. Good boy. We'll do one more here. Charlie, touch. Good boy. Nice work, buddy. Okay, we've been continuing to work on our sit behavior. So this week our goal is for Charlie to offer us a sit without us having to lure him into position using food. So once he finds that sit position, I am going to give him a few follow-up cookies for maintaining that position before I release him. But again, just working on getting rid of that food lure. Charlie, sit. Good boy. Okay. Good job, buddy. Charlie, sit. What a good puppy. Okay. We'll do that one more time here. Charlie, sit. What a good boy. Okay. In week 2, we started to introduce Charlie to a down. So for me, the easiest way to get my puppy to learn down is by starting with them in a sit position. So I am going to use a piece of food to lure him since this is brand new. But once he's in that sit position, I'm going to get him licking a piece of food and just very slowly bring my hand down to the floor so that he's following that food lure. And then as soon as his elbows hit the floor, that is when I'm going to click and I'll feed him right on the floor between his paws. Charlie, down. So again, I'm going to give him a few follow-ups, just like we do for our sits. Okay, using that okay to release him out of position. Let me see if I can do it on a side angle here so you can see better. Good job, buddy. Charlie, down. So putting that food right on the floor between his paws. Okay, good job, buddy. We'll do that one more time here. Charlie, down. Okay, good job, buddy. Nice work. We've been continuing to work on our mat skill. So in week 2, our goal is that Charlie will find a sit or down position on the mat before we mark and reward him. So the first few repetitions, I might help him find that position, but I do want to see maybe on the second or third rep if he will offer it to me before I mark and reward him. So last week we were rewarding for just all 4 paws on. This week we're upping the criteria, having them offer us a sit or down before we mark and reward. Charlie, go to your mat. So there, he just offered me that beautiful sit. I'm dropping food right on the mat because that will eventually encourage him to go into a down position. Giving him a few follow-ups for maintaining duration. Okay. Then I'm going to move the mat a little bit. Charlie, go to your mat. What a smart boy. Making sure that I release him in different directions. Okay. Charlie, go to your mat. What a good boy. So see how he's in this nice down position now? I'm going to reward him on the mat right between his paws. Okay. Charlie, go to your mat. What a good boy. Okay, now I'm going to leave the mat where it is. Charlie, go to your mat. Good boy. So I'm not actually verbally saying sit or down to him because big picture end goal of this behavior is we tell him to go to his mat and he automatically settles into a down once he finds the mat. So if I need to help him, I'll lure him with a piece of food, but I'm not going to verbally say sit or down. Okay. Good job, bud. He's been doing really well with that. Okay. Let's give Charlie a play break. Let's see if he's interested in the flirt pole here. Oh, what's this, bud? You got an itch? So sometimes they want to play. Again, sometimes they're more interested in me and the food. So I do like to at least give them the opportunity for a little break if they want one. Get it, buddy. So when I'm using the flirt pole, when my puppy is in possession of it, I am not lifting them up off the floor or pulling them across the floor while they have it in their mouth. I might just put some gentle opposition on it and play a gentle game of tug with my dog. What do you think, bud? Get it. Get it, Charlie. No, you just want to keep working? Oh, get it. All right, we're going to move on since he's not too interested in it. Okay, buddy. We started to introduce crate games this week, so we want to make sure that Charlie has a really positive association with being in the crate. So this week our goal is we're going to reward him for having all 4 paws in it. I'm not even going to worry about closing the door today, but then I am going to use his release cue to let him out of the crate. So I want him waiting at that threshold and not just coming out of the crate on his own. So let me show you what this looks like here. So I'm going to use food to get him to go in. Charlie, crate. So clicking and rewarding for all 4 paws in. Clicking and rewarding again at that threshold for him just staying at that threshold and not rushing out. And then when I'm going to let him out, I'm showing him a piece of food first at the threshold. Okay. Using that okay to let him out. Charlie, crate. Good boy. Good job, buddy. Good man. Okay. We'll do that one more time. Charlie, crate. There we go, buddy. Good boy. Good job. Okay, good boy. Good job, Charlie. Okay. In week 2, we start to introduce Charlie to the flying cookie game. So this is a great way to work on name recognition to make sure that he will respond to his name the first time that we say it. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to show him a piece of food. I'm going to toss it away from me. As he goes and eats that piece of food, when he's finishing it up, I will call his name. As soon as he turns to me and responds to his name, that's when I'm going to click and reward nice and close to my body. So let me get his attention first here. Go get it. Charlie. Good boy. And then I'll toss each one in a different direction. Go get it. Charlie. Good boy. Go get it. Charlie. Go get it. Charlie. We'll do one more here. Go get it. Charlie. What a good puppy. Good boy. In week 2, we start to introduce Charlie to grooming tools. So today I'm using a brush as well as a pair of nail clippers. So we're going to start with the brush here. I have Charlie licking a piece of food. And all I'm going to do to start is I'm going to start with the flat side of the brush. And I'm just going to run it down his back. Yes. Going to mark with a yes. Give him a piece of this food. Good boy. We'll do that again. Yes. Good job, buddy. Now this time I'm going to flip the brush around, but we're going to do that same thing. Yes. Good boy, Charlie. Go get it. Tossing a little reset cookie. We'll do that 1 or 2 more times here. Yes. Good boy. Yes. Good job, buddy. So for our nail clippers, we're actually going to start out the same way. I'm just going to take the clippers and run it down his back just so he can start to feel them. Yes. Good boy. Yes. Good job, buddy. Yes. Good boy. And then when I'm ready to start using them on his paws, I'm going to start up at the top of each leg and run my hand down and then pick up a paw while I'm holding the clippers. So I have him on that piece of food first, clippers starting at the top of his paw or his leg, sliding down, picking up a paw. Yes, good boy. Yes. And then I'm going to turn him around so that we can see the other side here. My goodness, you're so excited about this food, buddy. So again, starting at the top of the leg and then picking up the paw. Yes, good boy. Yes, nice work, buddy. And then I've also been practicing just touching the clippers to his paws as well. Yes. 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 Yes, good boy. Good job, bud. And then we've been continuing to work on our body handling as well. So this week for his paws, when I'm just handling them, I am going to work on picking up a paw and isolating one toe in preparation for a nail trim. So sliding my hand down his leg, picking up that paw, isolating one nail, yes. Marking with that yes and releasing that piece of food. Yes, good boy. And then I'm going to get him to turn around so you can see those last two. Good job, buddy. Yes, good boy. Yes, nice work, bud. We're continuing to handle his tail this week as well. So for this, I'm just running my hand down his back and then gently lifting his tail. Yes. This will prepare him for when he has to have his temperature taken at the vet. I'm not pulling on his tail or putting a lot of pressure on it. I'm just gently lifting it, yes, before I mark and reward him. Yes, good boy. Nice work, bud. For our restraint holds this week, we are adding restraint around the puppy's neck. So for this, I'm going to grab 2 pieces of food. I'm going to get Charlie on that piece of food first. Once my hand is under his belly, I'll release one. Then I'm going to do a quick hug also around his neck, and then I'm going to mark with the yes and release that second one. So there's one piece there around his neck. Yes, good boy. And it's very brief, just giving him a quick hug and making sure I mark and reward at the end of it. Yes, good boy. Good job, buddy. We'll do one more here. Whoop. Yes. Oh, I know, buddy. What the heck? Good boy. Good job, buddy. So again, no duration on that, just getting them used to putting your hand quickly around their neck and then marking and rewarding with that. Yes, good boy. We've been continuing to handle his face as well, so his eyes, his ears, and his mouth. So for his ears, I'm just going to flip each one back and take a look inside. Yes, good boy. For his eyes, I'm just going to gently lift his eyelid. Yes, good boy. We'll do the other side here. Yes, good boy. And then for his mouth, I'm just gently lifting his lips so that we can get a good look at his gums. Yes, good boy. Yes, nice work, buddy. That is it for Charlie's week 2 video recap. Make sure that you're looking at your video library as well as your handouts. Those will give you much more information on all the skills we've been working on with Charlie this week.